Yo, what's up, party people? I'm Señor Gigio, San Francisco based psychic tarot reader. I'm here today with another vlog, and today the topic I want to explore is getting your first tarot deck. Now, I've heard a couple times when I go out to read, people have these certain superstitions and they say, did someone gift you that tarot deck? Because you should only read until somebody gives you a tarot deck. Or I've heard people say to me, well, I want to read tarot, but nobody's gifted me a tarot deck yet. Now, this is some kind of like old, in my opinion, worn out tradition that stems from some old culture that is not really applicable to the times that we're living in right now, currently. It's funny when we think about reading tarot, especially as we're going into this and doing something that a lot of people have superstitions toward doing, that we would invite superstitions ourselves into doing it. Here's my opinion on that. It's all about initiating ourselves. That's what our relationship with tarot can be. We're in a different time. We live in a different culture. We live in a different society. Most of us, majority of us, are not living in communities that have these initiations, these rites of passages to get you to the next level of consciousness and understanding, being able to have certain gifts that come with responsibilities. So what's more powerful than us being the initiators in our lives? Getting your first tarot deck can be your first initiation, your initiation. It's an initiation that you are initiating yourself. You're the initiate and you're the initiator. We want to have this rites of passage. We don't know what tarot is. We don't know what it can do for us, but we feel called to it. Now I'm going to tell a little story about me first coming into tarot. Before I got involved in reading tarot and exploring myself psychically and really developing a stronger spiritual world and practice and discipline just in my life, majority of these things were so far from my vocabulary, from my understanding. It was not the norm at all in my life. I had experienced a lot of mystical things, supernatural things, wild things, but I didn't have the knowledge to be able to contextualize what it was that I was, experiencing. But 2013, I started shifting. I guess you could say it was the beginning of some sort of spiritual awakening. I felt called to get my own tarot deck, to read the tarot and just see what it was. I had no idea what it was. Now, I had had a couple of psychic experiences with somebody else reading for me. Some of those psychic experiences were nightmares. Some of them were pretty on point. They had used cards in those experiences too, but all of that stuff was like kind of going over my head. I'm like seeing the cards and you're getting information, but so that was as much to my knowledge as I had of it. I wasn't really in an environment or in a culture growing up where I was from. That wasn't something that we talked about. I never heard about it until later on in my 20s. I started trying to go get some help and understand what kind of strange things I was experiencing. That's where I started going to see different psychics and stuff. Fast forward 2013, I felt called to finally go and get my tarot deck. Knew nothing about it. I think this is important because, getting your first tarot deck, I think, can be such a big part of the process of how you bring this practice into your life. And it's such a big first step, this big first initiation. It's almost like in this step, just coming into it, we can start practicing our intuition and our empathic abilities, our psychic abilities, and tapping into our feeling, like what feels right. One thing I want to say that I think is a great way to start, is to actually be able to go to a place, a shop, to get your first tarot deck, to physically go somewhere versus getting it online. Maybe in the occasion that you know exactly what it is that you want and that you've done some research and you know for certain what it is that you want, then yeah, get it online. That's fine. For many of us and for the lot of us that are coming into this experience, into this world, into this knowledge as complete newbies, I think that experience of actually going to a metaphysical shop can be so stimulating. In this process, in this initiation, being able to go to that metaphysical shop and try to research where the local metaphysical shops close to you, and stepping in there and feeling your way around and being like, whoa, that's kind of weird, or whoa, that's kind of cool, or whoa, what is that? Feeling the vibe out, you know what I mean? Checking out all the different stuff, seeing the staff. If you can, try to do it by yourself too. Also, try to make it a solo mission where you do this alone. Do it alone without friends or family. Try to do this alone. That way you can really feel your senses and what you're experiencing and not anybody else's feelings into it, especially somebody who's close to you. So, and then check out their section where they have tarot decks and actually feel it. You get a sensation when you're being honest and you're coming from a place of honest curiosity. You can actually get a feel. You can feel it in your hand. You can feel it in your stomach. You can feel it in your heart, in your body. Sometimes you can get a sense of smell too. You can get certain kind of cues that your body gives you of what is right for you and what is really gonna feed your soul. Check out the different decks. What's this? What's that? And the one that feels right to you, the one that feels strongest to you, the one that you're like, can't put this one down. That's a very strong experience, and I think a strong way to get started. You don't have to just go to straight metaphysical shops. You can also go to different bookshops too. They have decks there and they have different things. I got my first deck in 2013 at a little old bookshop somewhere in San Francisco. And mind you, I had no inclination as to what I was doing or what I was about to get myself into, or what the tarot was, or any of it. And this is the deck that I got, this same deck right here. This is the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. This is the one that called to me, that felt the strongest to me. What's interesting is I had no knowledge of the Rider-Waite of this world of tarot, and the Rider-Waite was so popular and such a standard in tarot decks, even to the point where so many variations of tarot decks are based off the work in this deck. So I really love this deck. I haven't rocked this one in a while. Picking this up before shooting this video, it's very, very strong, has a lot of power and a lot of history. That is me initiating myself into something that I had no knowledge of. And I began learning the cards and connecting with the cards, and not just connecting with the cards, but connecting to my life, because that is the practice of what the tarot can bring you to. It's not about the cards, it's about your life. It's a practice of connecting to your life on a deeper level and on a more intimate level. The other thing too is that I don't want to get too much into all the details, but in terms of where I was in my life, I was in a pretty dark place. So me taking this step to consciously say, you know what, I need to do something about my spiritual life. I understood that there was a spiritual aspect of my life that was deprived, and that I needed to start figuring out and start getting to know myself on a more spiritual and metaphysical way. That was also the practice, what the practice of reading tarot brought to me, and that was one of my intentions in bringing it into my life. It's not to say that the cards themselves were the answer, but what it helped was kind of provide validation and markers, little markers of success points. Back to kind of what I was saying earlier about people in this notion that, oh, you got to wait till somebody gets you a deck. I mean, you got to think about how that really sounds. Your life is your life. You know, you can't wait for people to do things for you. Even like if somebody did gift you a deck, that doesn't mean that they know what's right for you. You can't live your life to somebody else's standards. You got to do it for you. That's why I think it's important to learn how to initiate yourself into things that you want in your life, especially when we're talking about these spiritual things. There's nothing more powerful than you saying that that's what you want in your life and that that's what you're ready for. Now, we can have different teachers along this journey, and we can have different people that we practice with and maybe learn from, but ultimately it's still you. You're the one in the driver's seat, showing up, continuing to show up to this practice and to the teaching. That's my lesson for today. That's my vlog for today. Call it what you want to call it. I'm happy to share. If you dig this video and you want to learn more about my work with tarot cards and with psychic reading, make sure you check out my website, and I will be back again with another video exploring another topic related to tarot, related to, psychic reality, spirituality. Very, very soon. I'm trying to do this like every Sunday for as long as I can. Also, I plan on doing weekly tarot readings for the collective very soon. Alright, y'all. So thank you again for watching this video. One love. Peace.